All right, so looking at a review today, we're going to have 20 questions on the test tomorrow. Looking at my example one, I'm asking find a measure of one interior angle. One interior angle. First of all, I need to find out how much they all add up to. I count the sides, there's six. There's six sides, so for me to know how much they all add up to, I'm going to go forward times 180. And the forward, remember n minus 2, right? N is 6, so n minus 2 times 180. All right, so all of them, 4 times 180, that's 720. So all of them add up to 720. Since I'm asking how much is one of them, I'm going to divide this by 6. 720 divided by 6 gives me 120. Now looking at question number 2, find a measure of one exterior angle. I know they all add up to 360 when it comes to exterior. They all add up to 360. So because I'm asking how much is one of them, I'm going to divide it by how many there are. In this case, there are 7. So I just go 360 divided by 7. According to my calculator, it gives me 51.42 and some more numbers. But because I'm rounding to the nearest tenth, I'm going to call this 51.4. Right? The 2 after the 4 is little, so it doesn't push the 4 up. On that test tomorrow, you guys are looking at one of each of these. One of each. Any questions on these? No. All right, questions 3 and 4. I'm looking at the triangle mid-segment. So question number 3, the mid-segment, obviously the segment in the middle, right? Mid-segment. So 9 plus x, all multiplied by 2, the mid-segment times 2 equals the base. There's only one base on triangles, so x plus 12. Multiply the 2 to the inside, 18 plus 2x equals x plus 12. I'm going to subtract 1x. I'm going to subtract 18. X is equal to negative 6. The instructions are solve for x, so I'm done. X equals negative 6. Question number 4, there's my mid-segment. So I'm going to go x minus 3, all of it times 2, and it's equal to x plus 2, right? The base. The mid-segment times 2 equals the base. Here to have 2x minus 6 equals x plus 2. I'm going to subtract an x. I'm going to add 6. So I get that 1 6 is equal to 8. The instructions here to find xz, x plus 2. So I'm going to call this 10. On the test, one of each. Any questions on these? Plugged it into x plus 2. Now, question number 5, looking at trapezoids, one thing that we know about trapezoids is the two angles at the side have to add up to 180. If one of them is 75, the other one is 105. Those two angles add up to 180. Bless you. Because it is an isosceles trapezoid, the angles on the right repeat on the left. So angle C, where the question mark is, I'm going to call that 105. Because an isosceles trapezoid, the sides copy. Now looking at number 6, AC is 10.5. That's the entire diagonal. When it comes to isosceles trapezoids, one diagonal is the same length as the other diagonal. My question here is find BD, the distance BD, which if you notice is the other diagonal. So I'm just going to call it 10.5. One diagonal is equal to the other diagonal on isosceles trapezoid. From these, you guys are going to have 2 of each. Any questions on these? Looking at my example 7 and 8, I have angle P and angle Q. They're adjacent. They're connected by a side. So that means you just add them up. 81 plus 23x plus 7 is equal to 180. Just add them up and equals to 180. For time-wise, I think the algebra you guys can do. You guys can just solve x equals something. I'm asking solve for x, so you're done, right? Just solve for x. The angles are adjacent, so you add them up equals 180. If they were opposite, so if I was looking at angle S and Q as an example, then they equal each other. Looking at question number 8, angle C and the entire angle D, I'm just going to add them up. 5x plus 5 plus 52 plus 63 equals 180. Those two angles are adjacent, so they add up to 180. The rest, you can solve for x, right? That's the instruction. The rest is just algebra. You're going to have two of each on the test. Any questions on these? No? Now, question number 9, I see the measurements outside of the figure. So I'm not talking about angles. I'm talking about sides. I'm looking at this side and this side. Opposite sides of a parallelogram are equal to each other. So I have that 3x minus 7 equals 23. The rest is just algebra. You can do the steps. Looking at question number 10, I'm telling you that CW is 7. So from C to W, so this part is 7. I'm going to say from C to U is also 7. The diagonals in the parallelogram get cut in half. Now, my question here is UW equals something. Based on the picture, I look at from distance from U to W, that's 14, right? UW is 14. So I'm going to say 14 equals 2x minus 2. And then from there, you can work it out. This is, you can do the steps. The instructions are solve for x. You're done on that. Any questions on this one? Then my last two examples, we're looking at trapezoid mid-segment. The segment in the middle, in this case, is 3x plus 11. 3x plus 11, all multiplied by 2, right? Mid-segment times 2 equals 45 plus 5x minus 16. I'm adding the bases. You can work it out. X equals something, right? The rest is algebra. But here, my instructions are find QR, right? Find the length of the base indicated. QR, which is 5 times x minus 16. So the value of x, plug it in, and then that should give you a result. Looking at number 12, my mid-segment is 2x minus 5. So 2x minus 5, all multiplied by 2, equals 10 plus 5x minus 30. I'm adding the bases, and then that will give you the value of x, right? The algebra stuff will give you the value of x. I'm asking find the length of the median. So plug it into 2 times x minus 5, and that will give you your answer. You will have 2 of each on the test. That makes it a total of 20. Any questions?